Hola a todos, aquí Julio Monroy desde Bogotá, Colombia. Hoy tenemos un gran invitado y este live, recuerden que va a estar totalmente en inglés, pero tendremos subtítulos en español. Entonces, today's guest is more than just a gear designer. He's a world-class music producer and sound engineer. He has a studio in Poland, and he's the mind behind some of the most innovative audio tools in the industry. We are here with Marek Walaszek from Bettermaker. Hi, Marek, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me. It's all good
Ah,
here.
thank you. Thank you for being with us, my friend. And we are with David Sicard in the controls. Hey, Sick, how are you?
Hi everyone, how are you? Thanks to all the people that are connecting right now. Marek, it's a huge honor to have you here. It's a huge honor to see you again, and I'm sure it's gonna be a great episode. I'm really intrigued about the new products that you're working on, and well, all the information that you'll be giving us. So thank you a lot for being here with us. It means a lot to us. For the people watching, remember on the streaming platform on which you are watching, you can actually leave your questions and your comments through the comment section, and I will be communicating the questions to both Marek and Julio.
Thank you, Sick. And we are with Dieguito Castro. Hey, Diego, how are you?
Hi everyone. Hi Julio. Hi Marek. Thanks a lot for being here with us. I'll be checking for Esteban questions. So type.
Thank you, Diego. Well, Marek, I know it's very late in Poland, right? Midnight.
Well, like it's midnight, but it's always studio time. We don't have clocks on the walls.
Yeah, we don't have clocks either. Well, my friend, we have only one mandatory question here, and it's: can you tell us how did you begin in the music industry, in the audio industry? Can you tell
Oh
us your
well,
beginnings, please?
I always was a music producer and a sound engineer since like I was 14. I knew what I want to do. So I was always a geek. I loved games, I loved tech, and I loved music. So those two things that combined made me a audio engineer and then a music producer. And then when I lost when I was doing a lot of recalls in my studio and I loved my analog gear and I wasn't ready to switch only in the box, I decided to do something about it and make a recalled analog like all my synthesizers did. And there was none of real analog gear on spot that would do that. And I was wondering why, because like I was working with synthesizers every day, and this is basically the same technology.
Yeah, well, that's great because we're going to talk more about that later. And Marek, I know that you have a studio called Addicted to Music, right? Right?
Yep.
Can you tell me more about it, please?
Okay, sure. Addicted to Music is located in Warsaw, Poland, in one of the biggest TV studios in Europe, actually. And we have two rooms. One is the room that you see right now is basically my office. So this is my private room. Right now we just opened a very big atmospheric in it, and then we have a second room that's made for basically for production and vocal recordings. And yeah, there are a lot of people hanging out. Like the studio works 24 hours a day, and I'm happy to have it, and that's my test field for all of my gear that we develop too.
Well, right. And which DAW do you use, Marek?
I primarily work in Logic. That's
Logic?
my yes, that's my favorite DAW because it combines two qualities. Like it's very good for mixing and post production, and it's a very great production tool for music. So like the best of two worlds.
The best of two worlds. Great. Marek, when I met you, I didn't know that you have a project as an artist. Can you tell me more about it, please?
Oh yeah, well, I wear two hats. But first of all, I'm a music producer for other people, and next up is a artist project that I do that's called Rejects. It's an audio musical that I released a first album right now, and I'm doing a second album as we speak. Probably I will do it more international because the first album was mostly based on American rappers, and I think I will look for rappers around the world right now.
Well, great. You know, we recorded an artist here in Bogota that is very well known, but well, he died a few years ago. He was called Cancerbero, and he was a hip hop artist, very important.
Hmm.
So, well, here in Latin America, there are a lot of rappers. If you want to come to Bogota, when you come, you have to come.
Yeah, I would love to. Actually, I was lately I was talking with ChatGPT and I was looking for a place to live, and it said that I should live in Medellin.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
well, we are based in Bogota, so
yeah, but like I will find my way to your
yeah,
studio.
yeah, my friend, please. Marek, mm, so the kind of music that which you work in your studio is more electronic music, rap
Yes,
music, yeah.
electronic pop, the new pop and hip hop. Yeah.
Well, and do you create music maybe for TV or media or more for
Well,
artists?
yes. Actually, I founded Bettermaker with money from a Fanta commercial.
Really?
Yeah, so I did a worldwide Fanta commercial like in many years ago, and all of the money that I earned on that commercial went to founding Bettermaker.
Wow, we didn't know that. And I was wondering what inspired you to, you know, you began working in the studio and then you began to create music gear. What was the
Yes,
inspiration? This is synthesizers, I know, but you know, can you tell me more about it, please?
of course. Well, I always loved analog gear and for the sound print and for the ease of use because it's much more easy to dial in something on analog gear than it's on a plugin. And I loved the way the plugins were working, so you can recall them and automate and everything. So I was all I wanted to combine these two worlds because I had like five, six, even sometimes recall sessions a day because I was working mostly with people from all around the world and not Poland. So they were sending me emails with their corrections, and I had to recall everything, write down the settings, and do photos and stuff like that. So that pushed me to thinking about developing something that would recall itself.
Wow, Marek, why the name Bettermaker?
Why it's the name? It
Yeah.
was a common joke in Poland for
Oh,
something that makes something that people don't know exactly what it does, but it makes things better. So when we were connecting something, and somebody didn't know how to use it, but he was using it just because it's something that improves the sound, then we were calling it the better maker. So that
oh,
was like some kind of a joke at the beginning.
at the beginning, it's a good name. Marek, what was the first piece of gear that you built?
Oh, it was the EQ232P. So it was a half passive, half active stereo EQ, stereo dual mono and MS EQ with digital recall, of course. It was working on MIDI, and this is actually the first plugin from Plugin Alliance that we released. It's called 232D, and it looks exactly the same as the first EQ we built.
Well, we're using the studio plugin from Bettermaker. I have showed you to you. It's a bass compressor,
Hmm.
and it's really nice. I like it a lot.
Great to hear that.
Yeah, Bettermaker. Marek, and I was wondering, what is the main difference uh, that the people can see and feel with Bettermaker equipments that they don't have in another equipments?
Well, if you're talking in the analog domain, the first thing that is that all of our gear is stereo, and all of our gear is very closely correlated. The channels are very closely correlated, and they are electronically correlated before we release them to the public. Although they are all analog, so you can know that the stereo image will stay always the same. So if you boost the bass, it won't fluctuate from left to right, and that's why the recallability it's also the key functionality, because we want it to recall the same today as 5 years later.
How many equipments Bettermaker has, analog equipment?
So how many models?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now I think there are 7 different models. So there's the limiter, there's the mastering compressor, the SP, VSP, mastering EQ. Okay, so that's 5. And there was, okay, and the last one was the bus compressor, but the bus compressor, we are finishing the production right now.
Oh, cool. And I remember based in the reel that Bettermaker released today, that it's about a limiter that, yeah, it's a limiter, right? The sound live audio engineering from Madonna used. Can you tell me more about that equipment, please?
Okay, so the limiter, it's actually the limiter 2.0. So the limiter 2.0 is a piece of gear that's only called a limiter. There is a lot of different things that's happening in it. So it's basically a color box, then a limiter, a clipper, a width control, and a metering device. First of all, it has a very expanded metering section also. So basically, it's kind of a final piece of your chain more than just a limiter.
Wow, man, that equipment looks beautiful. Do we have the reel, David?
Yes, we do have a reel. I'm gonna pause the music really quick because we're actually premiering this reel here on the live stream. So, hope you enjoy it.
Recording, let me start. You wait. Yeah. Let me tell the world this, okay? In the live world, I couldn't find a limiter. I did some research and I saw this analog limiter called the Bettermaker. And boy, did it make things better. And I was like, wow. So I got the first unit, just passed the audio through it, heard no difference. I was like, wow, it's transparent. What's going on? This is great. Now I started to play around with the knobs and I was like, oh boy. I don't care what anybody says in the United States, and you can fact check me. I was the first one to ever use it on any live shows. Take it from me. I found the goal. So I want to introduce to you the man himself, Marek.
Well, okay, thanks so much, man. That was more than enough for me. You know, like I don't have any questions right now for you. I heard that you used it on the big one, right?
Yes, actually, I started with it on Nas and Lil Baby. Then I took it to Post Malone, and then stood the test of the salt, the pounding, the high heat. I mean, I have used this unit from that point on to now, and I have not repaired, touched, or had any issues with it. We finally ended our relationship on the beach in Rio with the 1.6 million people, and guess what? That was my final chain of the whole thing.
The Bettermaker. Hear that, man.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Wow, amazing. I like it a lot.
Yeah, the reel is cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Do you like Madonna?
Well, let's say I appreciate her craft.
Well, but your equipment in a in a concert like that, it's amazing.
Yeah, luckily I didn't knew that earlier. He told me just after the concert that he used it, because I would be just crazy. I would go crazy nervous, when I would hear that before.
Well, and I have a question for you. When you were beginning with Bettermaker, did you ever imagine that someone was going to use your equipment for a live show in a Madonna's concert?
No, I am a very ambitious person, but I was dreaming of like selling one like 10 a year of my gear, and right now we are selling like a lot of them all around the world, and I never imagined that so many people will use it, and so many mastering studios. Especially the high-end mastering studios will appreciate the thought and how the gear sounds.
Well, that's amazing. Well, Marek, Diego is telling me that we have a question for you, my friend. Are you
Yeah,
ready
sure.
for the question? First question to Marek.
Thank you. Thank you, Julio. So, from our Instagram, how do you manage your social media presence and what role does it play in your brand's identity?
Okay, that's a good question because it's a marketing question more than gear. But of course, I'm we are always on the lookout of reels and reviews that people make, and of course I'm not managing it myself because it's too much work right now in these days. So I have a very skilled person that sits and monitors what's happening in the world, and sometimes we have an idea of making a reel or two, by ourselves, but a lot of our social media is very organic, and it's presented by people from all around the world, and all the reviews and all that fun stuff that they do, and we learn a lot from them actually, also because they use our equipment in the ways that we couldn't imagine.
Well, Marek, and David is telling me that he has a question for you.
Yeah, go
David.
ahead.
Yeah, there's something really interesting about Vermaker, and is that you're an artist as well. So the way that you approach to creating gear should be different. How do you think, or for example, how do you, in the process of creating gear, how do you relate your creative process as an artist to create gear?
That's a great question because I really I'm the first user of my gear. Like I met a lot of companies that you have a full company full of engineers that are mainly electrical or electronical engineers that work and just fulfill the needs for the stock needs and marketing needs for companies, and I always build gear that is designed for me, and that's the gear that I want to use first of all, and then I ask my friends if they would use it too. So if the gear doesn't stand the test of usability first of all, and ease of use, and the creativity, how creative you can go with the gear, then we are not producing it at all. So it's not a money chase, it's just an ideology.
That's fantastic. So I guess that you as an artist also face with some lacking of things, and some lacking of features on the existing gear. Is this also a starting point when you're going to design a specific piece of gear?
Yes, of course. For example, when we were designing the bus compressor, I was already frustrated that most at that time, of course, most of the bus compressors had very limited side chain, or they had no side chain at all. So I figured out that I really would love to have something like that. There were also almost none MS compressors on the market. So the MS functionality in our mastering compressor was also a thing that I would love to have. We made the first MS limiter ever that happened in analog. Uh, so yes, all the functionalities that are extra in our gear are the things that I would just dream of having, first of all.
Well, Marek, and now I have my question for you. And
Okay.
when I met you, I remember that we talk about impaired people, yeah, the producers,
Yes.
that cannot see. And I was wondering, well, I have a student like 2 years ago. He couldn't see, and it was, for me, it was really hard to teach. So I want to know more about your project
Yes.
for impaired people. Yeah.
So we started our project with media organization. They asked us to help us out in such in an area that they were looking for. So it was the pro audio. So in the inclusiveness of pro audio, and we first time we presented our voice feedback EQ on NAM, and one of the first users was actually Stevie Wonder. So that was the thing that drove us more into a more of a dialogue with people that are more physically impaired and also sight impaired. So now we have an EQ. Of course, we will translate that technology into other places too, other hardware. But right now we have an EQ that you can talk to. So basically, it's based on AI chat, and you can say that please boost a little bit of lows, or turn on the tubes, or unlink the channels, or make the pull tech trick, and it will listen to you.
So you can tell the EQ, for example, hey, make the pull tech trick, and the analog hardware is going to change all the
Yes,
without
exactly.
touch it. Okay.
Yes. So also it's more like it can be more like a dialogue, because you can say things like you can teach it what means a little bit, for example, to you. So make it a little bit brighter, and it will know what you mean in your language, in your dictionary.
Well, and how was the idea? How did you begin to create that idea in your mind? Because a lot of people makes only gear for the people that can see, that can touch everything, and you are telling us that if the gear is far, now you can talk with the gear.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
but
that's also exciting for people that aren't inspired, actually.
yeah, because if someone can't move, for example, and the gear is far, they can just say, hey, can you turn up the volume or the gain or something?
Yeah, or let's say like eight kilohertz by 2 dBs.
Well, you have to have a good ear for that, because sometimes you with the EQ you touch the mouse on and you change everything, but well, you have to.
Well, it depends. You can learn that.
Yeah, of course. But can you tell me why did you come with that idea? So
Yes, actually, I didn't come up with this. MIDI organization was the ones that they were building MIDI protocols for making the gear accessible. So, and they asked us if we could be able to use MIDI protocols to use in our gear. So from the initial idea and the first meeting till now, it was like 6 weeks of work, and we made our gear to listen to us and to give verbal feedback in those 6 weeks. Because for blind people, the verbal feedback of the EQ is important. So while you turn the knob, it will tell you where it's at.
and it will only work with analog hardware or with plugins too.
It works with our plugin. So the plugin, it goes, the dialogue is happening in the plugin, and the plugin sets the gear. So basically, we are on an open road to use it with every plugin.
Well, and when it's going to be released, this
Oh, I don't
technology?
know. It's still in tests, but we are the first ones in the world that did it. So that's good enough for me right now.
Wow. Well, when you launch it, please show it to us.
I actually,
Okay, yeah.
I actually have a teaser of the technology, so I'm gonna be sharing that teaser with you right now.
Okay, go.
Engage. Heat on.
So
Well,
there it is. It looks amazing. So for the people watching, as you saw, you send a voice command, and then the AI take the actions that you are telling it to do. I think that's amazing. That's amazing, and that's really great. That's really useful. For example, I think about it when we have to work as well on the road or something, like not driving, but when we have to be like in a busy place or something. That's gonna be really helpful as well. Or maybe just serving a coffee and you're like saying the indications. Could you please give me more bass? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
you can shout from your coffee room.
That's fantastic. That's completely necessary for me.
Yeah.
that's like a Siri.
Yeah, something like that. I think we could combine it with Siri too.
Oh wow. Well, that's great. That's really really great.
That
Because
that that was my
because
idea. Because what? Sorry.
yeah, we were thinking about that, but actually, to be honest, Siri is very deep in the system, and that might be a problem. That is a problem of getting into Apple's, technology that's not very open source right now.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, Diego is telling me that we have another question for you, Diego.
Yes, thank you, Julio. So we have another Instagram question. Are there any well-known producers or engineers using Bettermaker gear that you can share?
Of course. Let's start with, I don't know, Jimmy Douglas, Jason Joshua, Ken Lewis, Dave Pensado, Just Blaze, Hardwell, uh, Nicky Romero, Joker, the guy that would makes dubstep from UK that was on the latest Skrillex album. Greg Wells. The list is very long. Steve Bauman. Uh, who more?
Do you have any Latin America audio engineers?
DJ Casanova, DJ Nelson, DJ Fragancia.
Okay.
So the Fragancia did like a Bad Bunny track with over a billion views
Wow.
on our gear. Who else? It's on that side.
I saw that in the bus compressor there.
Echo. Oh, Echo. I don't know if
Oh,
you know the Echo, the guy that did Gasolina.
le gusta la gasolina. That man.
Yeah, originator of reggaeton.
Wow. Le gusta la gasolina. Dame más gasolina. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I saw that in the presets of the bus compressor, it's Gustavo Sacchetti.
Oh yeah, Gustavo Sacchetti, of course.
Yeah. He's from
Who else?
Argentina.
Yeah, Pepe Ortega.
Wow.
Oh, damn. Well, there are so many great people that work on the gear, so hopefully that there is that's enough last names for now. But
Yeah.
we need to find make a list
Yeah.
sooner or later.
Yeah, sure. And Marek, what is the difference between your plugins and your hardware?
Well, you can open as many plugins as you want in your DAW. That's the first difference. The next one would be like we are trying to do as them as close as possible. Sometimes we do some additional functionalities that the hardware cannot have. Sometimes we didn't do backwards. We didn't limit any plugins to the hardware, and yeah, we are trying our best. And I think that the plugins are the gateway to try our hardware.
Yeah, well, when a hardware is more expensive than
Of course.
just a plugin. And but about the sound quality, or what do you like most? More to use your hardware or your software, because when you use your software you can go to another country and mix and everything, but all some people would like more the plugins and the hardware, but you have both,
Yes,
you created both.
yes. Yes, because for example, like you can have as much hardware as you can afford, and for the plugins you can open as many as you want. So the thing is that, for example, in my studio, I use my hardware on mostly on the mix buses. So I have
Hmm.
it for my drums, for my vocals, for my like as many mix buses that I have to do a mix, and then on the master, and in between on the tracks I use my plugins.
Well, yeah, that's great, because you can open all the plugins that your computer allows, but you have
Yeah.
a few processors. And Marek, in Latin America, I know that in Mexico people can buy a Bettermaker, right, from
Hmm.
AudioGate, I guess. But
Yeah.
in other countries, where can they find your stuff?
Well, just let us know if you want to buy something, so we will arrange that. It's not a problem because we have a few dealers around Latin America. We have somebody in Brazil, somebody in Chile. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know if somebody is in Argentina right now. We had somebody in Ecuador,
Yeah.
but I would have to check. You can always go to our site,
Yeah.
bettermaker.com, and check if there is a dealer in your country. If not, just let us know.
Okay. Okay, Marek. It seems that we have a question from Discord. David Sikar is telling me, hey, David, tell me.
Yes, we actually have a couple of Discord questions. How does Bettermaker engage with immersive audio trends like Dolby Atmos, and what role do you see this technology playing in the future of music?
In analog, like it's quite complicated to make it immersive because we would need 12 channel EQs or 12 channel compressors, and that's not a technology that's undoable, but it's getting quite expensive to develop something like that. And probably sooner or later we will go into some kind of a immersive slash multi-channel processors.
Wow.
That's great. Thank you for your answer. We have another question from Discord. Would you say Bettermaker is more suitable for a specific music style?
I don't think so. We have so many different users. For example, Bobcats that uses it for all those light jazz stuff. The Pepe Ortega or Gustavo Sacchetti. These are way different people than, for example, Luca Pretolesi that uses our gear, or Hardwell that makes trance music, or Just Blaze that makes amazing hip hop. So I haven't found the genre so far that wouldn't find some better maker equipment there. So it's a very universal gear, but because our compression can stand a lot of bass, really people that make bass music love it.
And Marek, I saw some pictures from Instagram and videos that last week um, uh, there was something like a studio tour from your studio, and I saw that you have the Dolby Atmos and everything. What do you think about that? About Dolby Atmos?
For me, it's a very fun format, because you can, if you are bored with stereo, you can just play around and, and make that stuff immersive. Of course, it will take a lot of time for it to be popularized in gear, because most of people listen right now on headphones or even phones, or things like Bluetooth speakers and stuff like that. So you cannot force people to stay in immersive areas
Yeah, yeah.
to listen to music. So it's an addition. It's a beautiful additional format, but I cannot imagine that it will dominate.
Yeah, and well, I want to know in Poland how is everything with the Dolby Atmos? Because I when I have been in the NAM or the United States, well,
Mhm.
there are a lot of people talking about, even there are Ubers and taxis with Dolby Atmos. But can you
Yeah,
tell me
it's
more
not.
about Poland?
No, it's not like that in Poland. We have just a few studios that offer Dolby Atmos, and maybe people have home cinemas with Dolby Atmos, but we don't have Dolby Atmos taxis. We have most cinemas offer 5.1. There, like if there's a cinema with Dolby Atmos, it's stated that it has Dolby Atmos, so it's an extra.
It's an extra. And well, but do you like to mix in Dolby Atmos? I guess,
I
or
enjoy, like
yeah,
it's a fun place for me, like I cannot complain. Sometimes I struggle with down mixing to stereo to sound it like
yeah,
before, because
yeah.
I like hot mixes, but I treat it as another format, as a very loose format with openness, and the mix are more open because they have to be more quiet. So it's a different. It's like if you are getting bored with stereo, just go to Dolby Atmos. Like it's a fun refreshment for me right now.
Yeah, well, it's a new technology, and as we were talking about that, you are creating gear, analog gear, in a world that is using a lot of plugins. And I was wondering, what is the most challenging part of developing audio gear in these times?
Well, I think the efficiency, because we can build a monster that will be very complicated, but people are getting used to simpler solutions. So the thing is that we cannot overthink too much, and we cannot overbuild too much. So I cannot build a, I don't know, $15,000 monster compressor and count that it will feed my family. So if you see projects like that, they are mostly made for fun, because it takes like there are less and less people that will be interested in buying very, very expensive gear. So the gear has to be efficient and affordable, but still keeping a very high quality, because the quality has to be so high that it will compete with the plugins.
But
Yeah.
for example, I do have a question, and is we are now living on the digital era, as Julio said, and I think that must be challenging, especially to educate the public, the young public that are actually not really that used to analog gear. And for example, someone that is self-taught and self-learning how to produce music, how do you as a brand educate this kind of public that can actually be a consumer, but they have no idea and they have no experience with analog gear?
Oh, so that's not an easy question, because to have experience with analog gear, you have to have that analog gear. But that's why we have the emulations of our gear. So the bus compressor, the 232, the passive EQ. So you can have a taste of, you can use to that analog workflow, instead of moving faders and those screens that have like artificial GUIs. So basically, that's why most of our gear has really most of our plugins have really all these knobs that they were supposed to have. So if you get used to that, then you will know what to do with the gear later on and not be fooled by all those screens and XY kind of a movement with the mouse.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And feeling the knobs and everything. So I feel like I am doing something instead of moving the mouse. Or when you have a control surface and you touch the faders, it's different, a different approach.
Yes, and you tend to do less actually because you can move a little bit the mouse and you will go from minus 15 to plus 15,
Yeah,
and to do it with the fader or to do it with the knob, you have to really push it, and you won't do it because you will be afraid to do such a big
yeah,
movement,
yeah.
and less is more.
Less is more. That's right. And I was wondering, do you plan to expand your audio gear family? No, I don't know, audio interfaces, speakers. I don't know.
Yes,
Uh,
we are still looking for ways to expand. Like at the end, it's a company that has like 14 families to feed right now. So so we are looking we still have to make it fun and do the gear that's really challenging the market, and it's very innovative, but at the same time we want to make gear that will be more accessible to people, and we will make more necessity products for sure in the future.
well, great. Marek, we have some advertisement that C card is going to tell us. Go on,
Yeah,
please,
sure.
Sig.
Yes, so remember that you're gonna be able to find a podcast version of this live stream. Really simple, you just go to the platform that you prefer. It could be Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and you look for Produciendo con Julio Monroy. You should be able to find this episode and all past episodes as well. Also, remember to join our Discord server. We have a Discord server where you can actually send early questions for the live streams. You can actually see and discuss about the videos, the reviews that we do, share questions, share all the things that you create. We love to see what you create. And you can be talking with Julio, with me, or with Diego. We will be there. Just use the QR code.
Where is the QR code? Can you have the sync, David? Yeah.
Yes, this is the QR code. So you can scan the QR code there. It's also on Julio's scene. So every time that Julio pops up, you will be able to join our Discord. You should. It's a great space. And we talk a lot and we discuss a lot. So you should go ahead and do it.
Do you have Discord, Marek?
Nope, I don't use it, and my son knows how to do it. I was trying to get through, but it's still beyond me. Like there are so many different platforms that I can use and share and talk. So that's another one that I never dived into.
It's pretty interesting. Well, Marek, we are running out of time, and we know that it's very late in Poland. I want to thank you because it's amazing that you could meet with us. But I have my last question, and
Sure.
uh, there are a lot of audio engineers over the world, young people who wants to begin to study or create music or have a music studio and everything. Can you give them an advice from you, Marek? Which advice do you have to these new people that wants to be here in the audio world?
Okay, so the best advice I would give is to listen to as much music as you can, because that will develop your taste. And at this time, as we are progressing more and more with automated technology, the taste will be the thing that will be distinguish us from the machines. So You need to build your taste, and people will pay you for your taste. For example, look at Rick Rubin. He doesn't play anything. He's not an engineer. People pay for his vibe, for his taste in music, for his knowledge in what to do and what not to do. So this is an area that's not dominated by machines, and invest in that.
Wow, that's a really good advice. Thank you, Marek. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, Dieguito, for being here.
It was our pleasure. Marek, thank you again for being here with us.
Thanks
It's a
a
huge
lot.
honor. I think it's really amazing the technology that you're putting together, and it's really important because, well,
Guys, I have an idea.
tell me.
Let's make a contest, and let people win our newest mastering compressor plugin.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, can I
Wow.
participate?
Can I participate as well?
We'll figure something out, guys. First of all, let the people win, and then we'll figure something out.
Okay, so
Whoa.
I have an idea. For the people that saw the reel that we shared today, the reel is already online on Instagram. So I think it would be a good idea if you actually share it on your story or repost and tag Bettermaker. Can you share your Instagram as well, please, Marek?
Yeah, sure. It's Maro Music one.
Or
So
music one.
Maro Music one.
Okay, and please tag as well Julio Monroy and Delta Records, the
Julio
four
music producer.
Julio
Yeah.
music producer,
Oh,
the
you
four
have to.
accounts, and
I think you
we'll
have
figure.
to write it down because people
Yeah.
won't know. People will forget. So
I'm gonna write it on the comment section of the broadcast, and well, you just share, and we will make annotations of everything. Maybe we can give it a 2 week time so that the podcast is also on Spotify,
Yeah.
and well, we are gonna make a, I don't know how to say ruleta in English. Roulette,
contest.
a
Oh no,
contest,
Roulette, right?
roulette,
a draw. It's called a draw.
a
Draw.
draw. Ah, okay.
Okay. Okay.
So, well, thank you, Mark. Thank you. That's amazing.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for being here with us again. Thank you for building this amazing technology. It's really important, and I'm sure that a lot of people are gonna benefit for it. And well, it's as soon as it's released, we are gonna see how actually huge and important this kind of thinking is. And thank you for that as well.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Dieguito. This is the third live stream from Dieguito.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Julio. Thank you, Marek, for being here with us.
Thank you, Dieguito.
So,
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Go on, Sik.
thank you as well for the people that connected. Remember, we have a contest. We did not plan this, so thank you, Marek, for doing this for us. And thanks to all the people that left the Discord questions and connected with us. This was a really, really amazing episode, and we get to know more about Bettermaker. So thank you, Marek, again. And I'll leave you with Julio now.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Sik. And thank you, Marek, for create these pieces of gear. You are creating a better world with Bettermaker. So the new slogan, okay? So thank you for that. Thank you for all the people who were with us. It was amazing. Well, Marek, I hope to see you soon. I don't know. Are you going to AES in Long Beach?
Oh, I'm figuring it out because it's so close to Nam that I don't know if it's any sense to go there. But maybe something will draw me there.
But you're going to NAM, right?
Oh, for sure, every year.
Of course, NAM. It's amazing. Well, thank you. Thanks a lot. Next week we're going to have a live stream with Daniel Pascal from Ecuador. He's going to talk us about Dolby Atmos in Latin America. So it's going to be Wednesday, June 11th at 5 p.m. Colombian hour. Well, thank you, everyone, and I hope to see you in the next live stream. Bye-bye.